The sky over Zithra was a swirl of colors that no human eye could fully describe. Violet clouds drifted lazily across a golden sun, casting strange warm lights over the dense forest below. Giant crystal trees swayed in the gentle wind, their branches humming with faint musical vibrations. The air smelled sweet, like a mixture of flowers and minerals, and tiny glowing insects zipped between the trees, leaving trails of light behind them. To anyone else, it was a magical, beautiful world. But to Lyra, a young Thrillian girl, it was terrifying. Lyra's world was not shaped by sight. She had been born blind, and she had learned to understand her surroundings through sound, vibration, and touch. Every step she took on the soft, mossy ground sent tiny tremors up through her feet. The faint buzzing of insects and the deep hum of the crystal trees told her where she could step safely and where danger waited. But tonight, Lyra felt more fear than ever before. Her mother was missing. I can't find my mother, Lyra whispered to herself, her small hands trembling as she reached out to the empty air. Her voice carried softly through the forest, but only the shadows answered her. She took a careful step forward. The ground felt uneven, and a faint vibration told her that roots twisted beneath her feet. She faltered, but she forced herself to continue. She had to find her mother. The storm had come without warning. One moment, Lyra had been walking beside her mother along the crystal river, and the next, the wind had howled through the trees, scattering leaves and branches in all directions. She had been swept away, and when the storm passed, her mother was gone. Lyra had called for her, but there had been no reply. Now she wandered alone, terrified of the strange noises the forest made in the night. Lyra paused at the edge of a clearing. The hum of the crystals was louder here, almost like they were warning her to stay away. She tilted her head, listening carefully. A low rustling came from behind a nearby bush. Lyra froze. Her heart pounded in her chest. She could feel the vibrations of tiny feet running through the ground. Maybe it was a small creature, or maybe something bigger. She clenched her fists and whispered again, "Mother, are you here?" No answer came. Only the wind and the distant musical vibrations of the forest replied. Lyra's chest ached with worry. She had to find her mother. She had to. But the forest was vast, full of dangers that she could barely detect. One wrong step could send her tumbling into a hidden crystal pit or falling into a rushing stream. Her small mind raced with fear and determination at the same time. Suddenly, a new sound reached her ears. It was soft, almost hesitant, but different from anything she had heard before. Footsteps. Careful, human-like footsteps. Lyra stiffened. She had been told that humans were explorers of Zithra, but they were rare and many Thrillians did not trust them. Some even feared humans, believing that their technology could harm the delicate forest. Lyra had never met a human before. She did not know if this one would help or hurt her. The footsteps came closer. Lyra's hands twitched, ready to defend herself, but she did not make a sound. She waited, listening. Then a calm, gentle voice said, "Hello? Are you alone?" The voice was strange to her ears, soft and careful, as if the speaker did not want to startle her. Lyra's heart skipped a beat. Could this human be kind? Could they help her find her mother? I'm looking for my mother, Lyra said cautiously, her voice trembling. Have you seen her? There was a short pause. Then the voice replied, I haven't, but I can help you look. I'm not here to hurt you. Lyra's instincts told her to run, but she stayed. Something in the human's tone felt honest. She felt the vibrations of their steps carefully approaching her. My name is Lyra, she said softly. I don't know where she is. I'm Captain Alex Reinhardt, the human said. I came from far away, a place called Earth. I explore strange planets. I want to help you, can I? Lyra tilted her head, unsure. She had heard stories of humans. Some Thrillians said they were clever, curious, and sometimes kind. Others said they were careless and dangerous. She did not know what to believe. But something in Alex's calm voice and careful movements made her decide to take a chance. Yes, she whispered. Please help me find her. Alex knelt down to her level, careful not to startle her. We will find her together, he promised. Can you tell me the last place you felt her? Lyra closed her eyes, reaching out with her hands as if they could feel the traces of her mother in the air. She concentrated, sensing the subtle vibrations her mother had left behind when the storm hit. By the river, the crystalline river, she said. We were walking there. Then the storm came. Alex nodded. Then that is where we start. I'll follow your lead, Lyra. You know this place better than I do. And so they began to walk. Alex followed carefully, listening to every sound, every hum of the ground, and every subtle vibration that Lyra used to navigate. The forest was alive with strange creatures. Small luminous animals darted past them, leaving trails of sparkling light. The crystal trees resonated softly as the wind passed through their branches. Every step was a lesson for Alex. He marveled at how Lyra moved with such confidence despite her blindness. "Careful," Lyra warned. "Roots here. Step slowly." Alex smiled softly. "I will. Lead the way." Hours passed. The forest grew darker, but the crystals emitted their faint glow, enough to guide them. Lyra's small voice kept the rhythm of their movement steady. Occasionally, she paused, listening for her mother. Each time, Alex noticed the tension in her body. The hope and fear mixed together like two invisible threads. At one point, they came to a deep gorge. The crystalline river roared below. Lyra stopped, feeling the vibrations of the rushing water. "The bridge. It's gone," she whispered. "The storm. It destroyed it." Alex studied the gorge carefully. "We can find another way across. Don't worry." He took out a small portable device and extended a thin, strong cable. With patience and care, he constructed a makeshift bridge, testing each step for safety. Lyra watched with her hands out, sensing the vibrations of every move he made. When it was safe, she stepped onto the bridge first, guiding Alex with calm, precise directions. Together they crossed the river. Lyra's confidence grew with every step. She realized that humans, despite being strange and unfamiliar, could be allies. As they reached the other side, Lyra paused again. "I feel something," she whispered. "Footsteps? Small ones. Could it be?" Alex's heart raced. "We'll see soon. Let's be careful." The forest on this side of the river was even denser, with taller crystal trees and more complex vibrations underfoot. Lyra led the way, sensing faint tremors in the ground. They were too light to be from large animals and too patterned to be random. Lyra's heart lifted. Could it be her mother? The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the forest floor. The glow of the crystals grew stronger, bathing the world in soft light. Lyra reached out with both hands, feeling the vibrations more clearly than ever. "Mother, are you there?" she called, her voice shaking with hope. For a moment there was silence. Then faintly a reply came, not in words but in the vibrations of the ground. Lyra felt it with her feet soft and trembling. Her heart leapt. She was close. Her mother was close. Alex noticed the change in her posture, the sudden energy in her movements. "You feel her?" he asked. "Yes," Lyra cried. "She's near." "Just ahead!" Together they moved forward, carefully navigating the tricky terrain. Every step brought them closer to Lyra's mother. Alex marveled at her determination and skill. She was small, young, and blind, yet she navigated a dangerous alien world with confidence and bravery. Humans had many abilities, but Lyra's connection to her world was something else entirely, something beautiful and extraordinary. As night fully fell, Lyra's excitement and fear mixed together. She could almost feel her mother's presence, like a faint pulse in the ground beneath her feet. She called out again, louder this time, filled with hope. "Mother." "It's me, Lyra." "I'm here." The forest held its breath, the crystals humming softly, the wind whispering through the trees. Lyra's mother would respond soon, and Lyra would not be alone anymore. Not with the storm past, and not with a human by her side who had promised to help. For the first time since the storm, Lyra felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps she would find her mother. Perhaps she would be safe again. And perhaps, just perhaps, humans could be more than strangers, they could be friends. The forest around Lyra and Alex grew even denser as they approached the crystalline river. The glowing trees formed towering walls on either side, their roots twisting and intertwining like serpents beneath the soft moss. Every step sent tiny vibrations through the ground, and Lyra's small feet could feel them all. She paused often, listening, touching, and sensing every detail. Alex followed closely, amazed at her skill and patience. "Watch out," Lyra warned softly. "The ground here is uneven. Roots are hidden under the moss. One wrong step, and you could fall." Alex carefully placed his feet where she directed. "I trust you, Lyra," he said. "Lead the way." Lyra felt a small smile in her chest. She liked this human. He was careful, gentle, and patient. Unlike others she had heard about, he did not rush or scare her. She sensed that he truly wanted to help. As they moved forward, Alex noticed more about the Thrillian world. Tiny creatures scuttled across the forest floor, glowing faintly like living stars. Some hovered in the air, wings sparkling with colors that shifted and changed. He realized that every vibration, every sound, and every movement was part of a larger harmony, one that Lyra understood perfectly. "You can sense all this?" Alex asked quietly. Lyra nodded. "I cannot see it, but I feel it. The vibrations, the sounds, they tell me everything. Where it is safe, where it is dangerous. Sometimes, I even feel the emotions of the living things nearby." Alex was impressed. Humans relied mostly on sight. Here was a young alien girl, blind, navigating a world far stranger than his own, relying on senses humans could barely imagine. He felt humbled and honored to help her. Hours passed as they moved deeper into the forest. The light from the crystals grew brighter, reflecting off the smooth surfaces of natural formations. The air was filled with soft hums, and Alex noticed that Lyra would pause, tilting her head, almost as if listening to a language only she could understand. "What is it?" Alex asked once. "Footsteps." "Not mine," Lyra said softly. "Small, soft. Like my mother's, she is near. Very near." Alex's heart raced. They were close. He stepped lightly, careful not to disturb the subtle vibrations. "Then we will find her," he said with determination. But danger waited ahead. The forest opened into a clearing where the trees bent into strange arches, their crystal branches forming sharp edges that reflected light like blades. Lyra froze, sensing something unstable in the ground. "Careful," she whispered. "The storm. It broke the earth here. One step too far, and it could collapse." Alex examined the area. The soil looked cracked, and he could see faint outlines of pits covered with moss. "We will cross slowly," he said. "Step by step. You lead and I will follow." Lyra took a deep breath. She extended her hands, feeling the vibrations of every root, every crystal shard, every hidden danger beneath her feet. Her small body moved gracefully, guided by a mix of fear, determination, and hope. Alex followed her carefully, placing his hands on her back lightly for balance when needed. Halfway across, the ground trembled slightly. A loose crystal shard shifted under Alex's foot. Lyra cried out, "Left! Step left!" Alex adjusted quickly, narrowly avoiding a fall. His hands shook slightly from the adrenaline, but he kept moving. "You are amazing," Alex said, once they reached a safe spot. Lyra smiled faintly. "I have to be. I need to find my mother." As they continued, Alex realized something remarkable. Lyra's blindness did not limit her. It made her senses sharper, her perception more detailed than any human's. She felt the forest in a way he could not, reading its subtle messages and warnings. He realized that humans often relied on tools, but Lyra had her own natural tools, far more sensitive than any machine. Suddenly, a new sound reached them, a soft, melodic vibration, almost like singing coming from the river ahead. Lyra stiffened. That's her mother," Lyra whispered, her voice trembling. "She is trapped. We must hurry." Alex followed her lead. As they moved closer, the crystalline river appeared before them, wider and more dangerous than he had imagined. Its surface shimmered with light, reflecting the colors of the sky and the forest. But the bridge that had once connected the banks was gone, destroyed in the storm. Sharp crystal formations jutted out of the river, creating a maze of danger. Lyra stepped forward cautiously, feeling the vibrations of the water and the unstable crystals. "We cannot cross here. Not safely. We need another way." Alex looked around. He carried a small kit of equipment with him, as explorers often did. He could use the materials to create a temporary bridge or a rope pathway. "We can build a way across," he said. "It will take time, but we can do it together." Lyra nodded, feeling hope swell in her chest. "We must. She is very close. I can feel her vibrations on the other side." For the next hour, Alex worked carefully following Lyra's guidance. He placed portable supports on stable ground and extended cables across the river. Lyra crouched on the edge, sensing every vibration, warning him when a support felt unsafe. Together they built a narrow but sturdy bridge. "Step slowly," Lyra instructed. "1 foot at a time. The crystals are sharp, and the bridge moves slightly with the wind." Alex followed her instructions carefully. Step by step they crossed the river. The water roared below them, reflecting the glowing light of the crystals. The wind tugged at Alex's jacket, and Lyra's small body pressed close to the vibrations of the bridge, sensing every sway. When they reached the other side, Lyra froze. Her small hands trembled as she reached out into the forest ahead. She felt it, the faint vibration of her mother trapped but alive. Her heart leapt. "There she is," Lyra whispered, tears welling in her eyes. "She is here, Alex." "She is here." Alex followed her carefully, moving toward the vibrations she indicated. They entered a dense grove where the trees arched high and their branches formed a natural cage. In the center, Lyra's mother was trapped on a large crystal formation, surrounded by jagged edges that made it impossible to reach her safely without careful planning. "Stay back," Lyra warned. "It is dangerous. One wrong step and we could both be hurt." Alex nodded. He studied the formation. "We will get her safely," he said. "I promise. We just need to be careful." He extended a small grappling hook, testing the stability of the surrounding crystals. Lyra's hands moved over the ground, feeling vibrations and shifts that Alex could not detect. She guided him patiently, warning him when a crystal was unstable or when the ground trembled underfoot. Slowly, carefully, Alex made his way closer, using the hook to create a temporary path across the jagged formation. Lyra followed behind, sensing every step. Together they reached her mother, who opened her eyes and felt the vibrations of Lyra's presence. "Lyra?" she whispered, her voice trembling with relief. "Yes." "Mother, I found you!" Lyra cried. She reached out, touching her mother's hand, feeling the familiar warmth and vibration. Alex stood nearby, helping to stabilize the area. "You're safe now," he said gently. "We made it together." Lyra's mother looked at him, wary at first. She had heard stories of humans, some kind, some careless, but she could feel Alex's sincerity. He had risked himself to help her daughter. Slowly, she nodded in gratitude. "Thank you," she said in her language, vibrations that Lyra's small device could translate for Alex. "You helped us," Alex smiled. "It was nothing. I just wanted to help. She is brave and she guided me every step of the way." Lyra hugged her mother tightly, feeling the warmth of her touch, the steady vibrations of her presence. For the first time since the storm, she felt safe, whole, and truly happy. As they made their way back to safer ground, Alex noticed the bond between Lyra and her mother. It was strong, unbreakable, and full of love. But he also noticed another bond, the one forming between himself and Lyra. She had taught him patience, awareness, and respect for a world he had never imagined. Humans often thought of themselves as clever and strong, but here was a young alien girl showing him what true skill and bravery looked like. By the time they reached the edge of the forest, night had fully fallen. The crystals glowed softly, lighting their path. Lyra walked between her mother and Alex, feeling their vibrations, sensing the safety of their presence. She looked up, imagining the colors of the sky above, and whispered, "Thank you, Alex. You helped me." "More than I can say," Alex smiled. "And you helped me too, Lyra. You showed me a world I could never have understood alone. Thank you for trusting me." For the first time, Lyra realized that humans could be friends. Not all humans were dangerous or careless. Some, like Alex, could be brave, kind, and understanding. And maybe, she thought, they could learn from each other. As they rested for the night under the glowing crystals, Lyra felt a sense of peace she had not known since the storm. Her mother was safe. Alex was her friend. And the strange, beautiful world of Zithera was not so frightening when she was not alone. She closed her eyes, listening to the vibrations of the forest, feeling the steady presence of her mother and the gentle strength of her human friend. And for the first time, she allowed herself to hope that tomorrow would be even brighter. The crystalline river flowed violently, even after the storm had passed. Its waters shimmered with light, reflecting the glowing trees that surrounded it. Sharp crystal formations jutted from the banks and the water, making it dangerous to approach. Lyra, her mother, and Alex stood on the edge of a safer clearing, carefully assessing the path forward. Lyra's mother, Elira, held Lyra's small hand tightly. "The path across is unstable," she said, her voice trembling slightly. "The storm has shifted the crystals. If we are not careful, we could be trapped, or worse." Alex nodded, looking over the jagged formations. "We'll move slowly and carefully, step by step. You lead, Lyra. You know this land better than I do." Lyra felt a shiver of determination. She had always relied on her senses to navigate Zithera, and now she had to guide two others safely. She tilted her head, feeling the vibrations of the ground beneath her feet and listening to the hum of the crystals around them. Every movement of the river sent subtle tremors that told her which areas were stable and which were dangerous. "Follow me closely," Lyra instructed, stepping forward carefully. She reached out with her hands, sensing the sharp edges of crystals before touching them, guiding Alex and Elira around the worst hazards. The first challenge came quickly. A narrow stretch of jagged crystal protruded from the river, forming a natural bridge that seemed usable but dangerous. Lyra paused, feeling the vibrations beneath her feet. "It is not safe for all of us at once," she said. "We must cross one at a time." The crystals could shift. Alex knelt down to her level. "I will go first if it will help. Then you and your mother last. I can stabilize the bridge as we move." Lyra considered this. Alex was strong, and his hands could hold the crystals in place if needed. "Be careful," she warned. "The vibration here is tricky. You must feel the hum of the crystal and step where it is strongest." Alex nodded and took a deep breath. Step by step he moved across the narrow crystal bridge. The shards creaked and trembled slightly under his weight. But Alex stayed calm, listening carefully and adjusting his movements as Lyra instructed. Lyra's small voice guided him through every tricky step. And slowly he reached the other side safely. "Your turn." "Lyra," Alex called. Lyra's small hands moved over the surface of the crystals, feeling every vibration. Her legs shook slightly, but she stepped forward with precision, following the safe path she had detected. Alex watched in awe. A blind child was navigating a field of sharp, unstable crystals more carefully than he ever could have with sight. Finally, Lyra reached the other side. Elira stepped onto the crystals carefully, guided by her daughter's precise instructions. Together, they moved safely across the dangerous stretch, and Alex felt a deep respect for the Thrillian child. But the river was not done with them yet. On the other side, a small grove of crystals had been loosened by the storm, forming a labyrinth of jagged spikes. The wind whistled through the formations, producing eerie tones that echoed across the river. Lyra tilted her head, sensing the vibrations. "There is danger ahead," she whispered. "The crystals could collapse. We must move slowly and carefully. Do not rush." Alex nodded, carefully studying the area. He realized that even the slightest misstep could send one of them plunging into the cold, rushing water below. He tested each step with his foot before moving forward, following Lyra's guidance. As they entered the labyrinth, a sudden tremor shook the ground. Lyra froze, feeling the vibrations beneath her feet. "The storm loosened more than I thought," she said. "Some of the crystals are unstable. Watch carefully." Lyra held her daughter close. "We will get through this together," she said, her voice steadying Lyra's nerves. Step by step, they moved forward. Alex extended a rope to stabilize the group, tying it around sturdy crystals to create handholds. Lyra's heightened senses allowed her to detect the weakest crystals before Alex stepped on them, and she guided him with precise instructions. Halfway through the labyrinth, the wind intensified and small crystal shards fell from the trees above. Lyra flinched, but she did not stop. She felt the faint vibrations of her mother's presence just ahead, giving her courage. "Almost there," she whispered. "We must keep moving." "She is close." Alex followed her, placing each step with care. He admired Lyra's bravery. She was small and blind, yet she guided them through a dangerous forest with wisdom far beyond her years. He realized that humans often relied on technology and sight, but Lyra's natural skills were extraordinary. Suddenly, a larger crystal shifted beneath Alex's foot. He stumbled slightly and Lyra's quick voice shouted, "Left! Step left, now!" He moved just in time, avoiding a dangerous fall. Lyra clutched her daughter tightly, feeling the tension in Lyra's small body. "Are you all right?" Lyra asked, concern in her voice. "Yes," Alex said, his heart still racing. "Thanks to you." Finally, they reached the last stretch of the labyrinth. Lyra's senses told her that her mother was only a few steps away, trapped on a small crystal platform that rose above the river's current. She could feel the faint vibrations of Lyra's heartbeat and the subtle tremors of the surrounding crystals. "There she is," Lyra whispered. "Mother!" Lyra looked up, her eyes filled with fear and hope. "Lyra, was that you?" "Yes, I'm here." "Alex, help me," Lyra called. She felt the vibrations of her mother's presence guiding her carefully. Alex examined the area. The crystal platform was small and unstable. One wrong step could send them both into the river below. He extended the rope and tested the ground, ensuring every step would be safe. "Hold on to each other," he instructed. "Step slowly. We will get her safely." Step by step, they moved forward. Lyra led the way, feeling every vibration, warning Alex when a crystal was unstable. Alex followed carefully, supporting Lyra as she moved toward the platform. Together, they reached her, and Lyra threw her arms around her mother. "Mother, I found you," Lyra cried, tears streaming down her face. Lyra hugged her daughter tightly, relief flooding her being. "You are safe." "You are both safe." Alex stood nearby, helping stabilize the crystals. "We did it together," he said gently. "Everyone is safe now." Lyra's mother looked at Alex, still cautious but grateful. "Thank you," she said, her voice soft. "You risked yourself to help my daughter." "Humans can be—" "Good," Alex smiled. "Not all humans are perfect, but some of us try to help. And she is amazing. She guided us every step of the way." Lyra felt a warmth in her chest. She realized that humans, despite being strangers, could be friends. Alex had proven that humans were not just explorers or outsiders. They could be brave, kind, and understanding. They rested on the crystal platform for a few moments, catching their breath and feeling the vibrations of the river below. The storm had passed, but the forest still hummed with life. Tiny creatures glowed softly, moving through the trees, and the wind carried gentle tones that echoed through the forest. Lyra felt at peace, surrounded by her mother and the human who had helped her. "We need to move back to safer ground," Alex said. "The river is still unstable and night is falling. But we are stronger together." Lyra nodded, feeling determination rise within her. "Yes, we can do it." Step by step, carefully, they began the journey back, moving through the labyrinth again, retracing their steps. Lyra's mother held her daughter's hand tightly, sensing the calm and confidence in Lyra's movements. Alex followed closely, listening to Lyra's instructions and helping to stabilize the ropes and crystals. Along the way, Lyra noticed how much Alex had learned from her. He moved with patience, listening to the vibrations and respecting the forest. Humans often relied on technology, but here, Alex used his mind, his patience, and his heart to help. Lyra felt proud of him and grateful for his friendship. Halfway back to the clearing, they encountered another obstacle. A large crystal had fallen across their path, partially blocking the way. Lyra paused, sensing its vibrations. "It is heavy, but we can move it," Alex said. He examined the crystal carefully and used his tools to shift it slowly. Lyra guided him with her hands, feeling the shifts and tremors, warning him when the crystal moved too much. Finally, the obstacle was cleared. They continued step by step, moving through the dense forest, their hearts filled with hope and relief. Lyra felt the vibrations of her mother's presence, steady and strong, reassuring her that they were almost safe. By the time they reached the edge of the forest, the first light of dawn was appearing in the sky. The glowing crystals cast soft reflections on the forest floor, and the air was calm and gentle. Lyra looked up, imagining the colors of the sky, and whispered, "We did it." "We are safe," Alex smiled. "Yes, and we did it together. You taught me so much, Lyra. Your courage, your skill. It's incredible." Lyra blushed slightly. "And you helped me. And my mother." "You are kind, Alex, thank you." Lyra hugged her daughter again, feeling the bond between them strengthened. She looked at Alex with gratitude and said, "Perhaps humans and Thrillians can learn from each other. Perhaps we are not so different." Lyra smiled, feeling hope for the first time since the storm. The dangerous search had brought them closer together, showing that bravery, patience, and trust could overcome even the most difficult challenges. As they rested under the soft glow of the crystals, Lyra listened to the forest's hum, feeling the steady presence of her mother and the gentle strength of Alex beside her. The first rays of sunlight filtered through the tall crystal trees, casting dancing lights on the forest floor. The air was cool, carrying the faint hum of the river and the soft whispers of the wind. Lyra stretched her small arms, feeling the gentle vibrations of the forest beneath her feet. After the dangerous journey of the previous night, she was finally standing with her mother Lyra and her human friend Alex. Lyra's heart swelled with relief. Her mother's presence was steady and warm, vibrating softly through the ground, a sensation that filled Lyra with hope and safety. The terrifying storm had taken away her sense of security, but now it was returned. She felt a surge of courage. She knew she could face anything with her mother by her side and Alex's guidance. Are you sure the river is safe to cross again? Lyra asked, glancing at the shimmering water. Alex studied the river carefully. It is calmer than last night, but the crystals are still unstable in some places. We need to move carefully, step by step. Lyra nodded. I can feel the safest path. Follow me closely and we will make it through. The three of them began the journey back toward a safer part of the forest, one where the ground was solid and the trees formed protective arches. Lyra led the way, feeling the vibrations beneath her feet and the faint pulses in the air. Every movement was precise, careful, and deliberate. Alex followed, respecting her guidance and providing support when needed. Lyra moved slowly but confidently, guided by her daughter's steady presence. As they walked, Lyra's mind wandered to the events of the past day. She remembered the fear she had felt when she first realized her mother was missing. She remembered the uncertainty when Alex appeared, a stranger from another world. And she remembered the courage it took to trust him, to follow his guidance, and to navigate the dangerous forests of Scythera together. She realized something important. Humans were not all the same. Some were careless or harsh, but others like Alex could be brave, patient, and kind. He had risked himself to help her, and in return, he had learned from her. She felt a deep sense of respect and gratitude. Alex, she said softly, breaking the quiet of the forest. Thank you for helping me and my mother. I did not know humans could be so kind. Alex smiled gently. And thank you, Lyra. You taught me so much. You showed me how to understand this world in ways I never could have imagined. Humans rely on sight, but you rely on something much more: intuition, awareness, courage. Lyra felt a blush on her cheeks, though no one could see it. I am glad. We met. I think we make a good team. Alex chuckled softly. Yes, we do. Humans and Thrillians together. Stronger than alone. The forest grew brighter as the sun rose higher. Tiny glowing creatures moved through the trees, leaving trails of soft light in the air. The crystals resonated gently, producing a melody that seemed to celebrate their safe passage. Lyra's mother, sensing the warmth and trust growing between her daughter and Alex, spoke softly. You are brave, Lyra, Lyra said, her voice vibrating through the ground. And this human, he has helped us in ways I could not have imagined. Perhaps we were too quick to judge humans. Lyra smiled. Yes, Mother. Not all humans are strangers. Some can be friends. Lyra nodded, placing her hand on Alex's shoulder. Thank you. You have my gratitude. Alex bowed slightly. It was my honor. I only hope that I can continue to help and that we can learn from each other. As they walked further, the forest began to open into a wide meadow, the ground soft and stable. The crystalline river was visible in the distance, flowing calmly and reflecting the morning light like a mirror. Lyra felt a rush of joy. They had made it safely across, and the worst dangers were behind them, but the forest still held surprises. As they moved, the wind shifted, carrying a strange musical vibration. Lyra paused, sensing it through the ground and the air. Something is coming, she whispered. From the shadows emerged a small group of Thrillians, curious and cautious. They had heard of Lyra's journey and had followed the vibrations of the crystals. Their eyes widened as they saw Lyra walking with her mother and the human. Lyra, one of them called, stepping forward. We feared you were lost forever. I am safe, Lyra replied, her hands trembling slightly from excitement. And we made it together. She turned to Alex. This human helped me. He is my friend. The Thrillians paused, studying Alex carefully. Many had never seen a human before, and some were wary. But they could sense his calm, gentle energy. He had not used weapons or machines to frighten them. He had helped, guided, and respected the Thrillians' world. Slowly, they nodded, accepting him as an ally. Lyra looked at the group and said, He is a friend. He helped us when we were in danger. Perhaps humans and Thrillians can work together, learn from each other, and explore the wonders of Scythera safely. Lyra's eyes sparkled. Yes, we can do so much together. Not just humans and Thrillians, but everyone who wants to help and protect this world. The group of Thrillians began to guide them toward a safe village on the other side of the meadow. Lyra walked with her mother and Alex, feeling stronger than ever. She had faced fear, uncertainty, and danger, and she had overcome them with courage, trust, and teamwork. As they reached the village, the Thrillians welcomed them warmly. Stories of Lyra's bravery and the humans' help spread quickly, and many villagers came to see the small girl who had guided a human through the dangerous forests of Zithera. Lyra felt a sense of pride. She had done something important, not just finding her mother, but showing that trust, courage, and friendship could bridge worlds. Humans and Thrillians, though different, could understand and support each other. Alex stayed by her side, watching as the villagers shared food and stories. He realized that this small Thrillian girl had changed his perspective on exploration and life. Humans often thought of themselves as superior because of technology, strength, or knowledge. But Lyra had shown him that understanding, empathy, and courage were just as powerful, sometimes even more so. That night, under the glowing crystals, Lyra and her mother prepared to rest. Alex sat nearby, reflecting on the events of the day. "You did it, Lyra," he said softly. "You kept us safe. You guided us through dangers that I could never have understood without you." Lyra smiled faintly. "And you helped me, Alex. You listened, you trusted me, and you used your skills to keep us safe." "We were a team," Elira, sitting close to her daughter, added. "Perhaps humans and Thrillians can learn from each other. Together we can explore, protect, and understand Zithera in ways we never could alone." Lyra nodded, feeling a warm glow in her chest. She thought about the future, about exploring more of the forests, rivers, and crystal landscapes, and she thought about humans, strange and different as they were, who could become friends, allies, and teachers. As the night deepened, the glowing crystals bathed the forest in soft light. Tiny creatures hummed and danced, filling the air with gentle music. Lyra lay beside her mother, listening to the vibrations of the forest, feeling its life all around her. Alex sat nearby, studying the forest's patterns, and realizing that the bonds they had formed would last far beyond this adventure. Lyra felt a deep sense of hope. The storm had tested her, taken her fear, and then returned her courage. She had faced uncertainty, danger, and darkness, and she had emerged stronger. She whispered softly into the night, "We are stronger together. Humans and Thrillians, that we can help each other. We can protect this world and we can be friends." Elira squeezed her hand gently, and Alex nodded in agreement. The future was uncertain, as it always was, but for the first time Lyra felt ready to face it. She had her mother, a human friend, and a community that now believed in the power of cooperation and trust. As the stars began to shimmer above the glowing crystals, Lyra closed her eyes, feeling safe, hopeful, and full of courage. She had survived the storm, found her mother, and learned that humans could be more than strangers. They could be heroes, allies, and friends. Tomorrow would bring new adventures, challenges, and discoveries. But tonight, Lyra allowed herself to dream. She dreamed of exploring Zithera, guiding humans and Thrillians together, and discovering all the wonders of her world. And for the first time, she smiled truly, knowing that she was not alone, that she was strong, and that the bond between worlds could be real, lasting, and filled with hope.